Well, hello there and welcome to day 12 of this self-compassion challenge. My name is Anna and today we're going to practice bringing more kindness, loving kindness to ourselves when it comes to grief. Oy, oy, oy. What a very heavy and deep emotion, mourning and grief. So make sure that you feel very safe, very comfortable from whenever you're practicing, and whenever you're ready, let's go for it. Okay, here we are, day 12, and let's talk about grief. It's already when I say this, I feel nervous because I know grief is something we feel comfortable sharing with a very few group of people. It's not really socially accepted to talk about grief, and yet we long for sharing it so much. And sometimes we are not looking for a solution, we just want to be heard, to be seen in our mourning, in our pain. So feel free to close your eyes, soften your gaze. What's important is that you reconnect for a few seconds with your body and do whatever is necessary so you feel comfortable right now. So if you feel fine with whatever it is you did or didn't do, just remain the same, to adjust your body to feel more at ease. Let's begin. Let's find a moment in our life where we feel grief. And this could have been something that happened in the past, that it's still connected to you somehow in the present moment. But it could also be something ongoing, something alive, very much alive in you right now. And grief usually is connected to something or someone that we lost or we are losing. I remember very vividly the first time that I experienced grief as a child. I believe I was around 11 or 12 years old. And it is the moment when I lost my first pet. I own a lovebird, something that I wouldn't do right now. I don't want to own any animals, but when I was little, I did have a pet. And I came back from home and it was dead. So that could be something if you want to use to play with. So that could be also an example for you, something from childhood. Doesn't have to be a pet. I also had a lot of grief and mourning when my grandmother passed away. But let's be honest, I also mourn on a daily basis. There are things that happen every day that really make me mourn. I wake up and I have a migraine. I mourn my body. or a frozen shoulder, or if you have or have had cancer, there might be a big deep mourning around that, overcoming that or going through that. Or grief about losing a job, a project, a friend. Just noticing what comes up for you. And like we did yesterday with anger, let's explore also what are your most common body sensations when you're grieving, when you connect with your mournings. In my case, I feel like a very heavy stomach, cold. I tend to feel cold, tired. Like there is a background sadness and hopelessness. Sometimes even anger shows up in my chest. My heart beats really fast. And if at any point you notice that there is some resistance about allowing yourself to express this grief or mourning fully, acknowledge that it is hard. It can be very difficult to connect with something that it is so important to us and is lost, is gone somehow, or transformed. Grant yourself the gift of meeting yourself where you're at. If you have resistance, embrace the resistance. If you are crying, if you're experiencing discomfort, embrace it. This is also grief. This is part of the mourning process. And I particularly emphasize this aspect today because mourning and grief are also big taboos. In our society, we're expected to be happy practically all the time, to be healthy and strong. And I don't know about you, but that's not how my human body and my human mind operate. I'd rather be authentic and real than shoving down those emotions somewhere with all the pain that comes. And this is actually something that connects with today's quote by Nicole Lyons. The deepest pain I ever felt was denying my own feelings to make everyone else comfortable. And grief is definitely uncomfortable for others and for ourselves. So it's nice to allow it some space, to open up this imaginary space for it to express and show up a little bit. And connect with those emotions that are really meaningful. They're very important. They're carrying very deep messages about our life and about what we love in ourselves or others. And just because grief can be very difficult for some people. I would like to make sure that if you're not feeling well right now, you seek for help. Either you ask some company or support from a friend or a loved one, and if there's no one you can talk to right now, then write down what's going on for you on a piece of paper, or just do something loving and kind, even if it's just a small gesture towards yourself, because you deserve it. Thank you so much for joining me today, practicing self-compassion with me. I hope to see you tomorrow. And if you're interested, there is a little short, nice notebook that I have put together, compiling all the quotes and the main key points of this self-compassion challenge practices. If you want to access it, all you gotta do is find the link below down the comments. See you tomorrow.